Stations of India Part 2. Hello students. In the last session we discussed about the evolution, history, challenges and opportunities that make hill tourism a big attraction for tourists. In this session we will discuss the various hill stations of India. So let's start the session on hill stations. The session flow with learning objectives would be as follows: the Himalayan resorts, non-Himalayan resorts, tourism boosts the local economy, do's and don'ts, representative hill resorts. We shall now study some representative hill resorts from various parts of India. The hill resorts selected here are for the study are located in the Himalayas, the Aravallis and the Western Ghats. The Himalayan resorts. The Himalayas is an arc-shaped formation extending 2,500 kilometers from west to east and over 250 kilometers from north to south. They are divided into the main, middle and outer or lesser Himalayas in terms of the altitude of the mountain ranges. It is within the outer Himalayas that the Shivaliks in the west and the Dwars in the east are located. The Himalayas vary greatly in their climate from region to region. Tropical climate characteristics, the foothills, whereas moderate climate marks the foothills of the outer Himalayas. As one travels further north, the alpine climatic conditions are found in the central ranges and a dry continental climate in the valleys and plateaus north of the main ranges. The important and popular tourist hill resorts lie within the altitude range of 1600 to 2000 meters in the moderate climate zone in the Shivaliks, in the valleys south of the central range and in the eastern Dwars. In India, these include the Kashmir Valley, Kullu, Kangra, Manali, Shimla, the middle part of Sikkim and Darjeeling. Manali, which is connected by road to major North Indian cities such as Delhi and Chandigarh, has developed into the most popular hill resort in the past few decades. Located in the upper reaches of the Kullu Valley at an elevation of 1220, the view of high awe-inspiring peaks, freshness of its cedar forests, the gurgling of the river Beas which flows through the town and its use as a base station for mountaineering expeditions attract both the adventurous as well as the most sedate visitors. The geography and topography of Manali have contributed significantly in making the town a major tourist attraction. Manali is the major takeoff point for a large number of trekking trails, including those in Lahul and Spiti. Tracks to the Rohtang Pass, Beas Kund, Chandratal and many other places can be accomplished within 2 to 4 days of easy walking. Mountaineering expeditions to Kshitidhar Ridge in the north and peaks to the northeast such as Deotuba and Aliratni Tibba also have to use Manali as their logistic center. The Mountaineering Institute at Manali organizes courses on rock climbing, high altitude trekking, mountaineering and skiing. Manali has in it the last few decades also developed as a center for winter sports. Solang Valley, located just 12 kilometers to the north of the town, has excellent slopes suited to both the beginner and the expert. Apart from trekking and mountaineering, the Beas is famous for trout fishing. A license for this can be obtained from the tourist office. For the less adventurous, the hot sulfur bath at Vashisht, located only 3 kilometers from the town, the medieval temple of Hidamba Devi, a Tibetan monastery and the market would be of interest. Manali is well connected by long distance buses to Delhi, Chandigarh and Simla. The tourist can choose between the more plebeian ordinary bus or the deluxe coaches run both by government as well as private operators. Taxi cabs can also be hired from Delhi, Chandigarh and other places to Manali. The resort is also accessible by taxis ferry passengers from Delhi to Bhuntar, which is located in Kullu. Manali caters well to all the needs of a wide variety of tourists with different interests and budgets. The government runs hostels and restaurants which range from the relatively cheap but comfortable to the extremely luxurious upmarket ones. In addition to the state-run tourism services, private entrepreneurs are increasingly setting up similar establishments. The tourism office provides a wealth of information to the new visitors, ranging from the names of the tariffs of hotels to detailed tracking maps of the region. With the marked increase in the popularity of trekking and mountaineering, good number of companies have been set up in Manali which hire camping gear and make arrangements for porters, pack animals and high altitude guides. The Manali Mountaineering Institute provides trained mountaineers to help in rescue work in emergencies. The rapid growth of Manali as a hill resort has led to a proliferation of tour operators and travel companies who undertake to make arrangements for both tourists from big metropolitan cities like Delhi. Communication with this resort have also been upgraded in response to increased tourist demand. The resort's marked growth has greatly stimulated local building industry in the region and has provided a large number of local youth an opportunity to get employment in the local hospitality industry. However, while Manali's exponential growth graph augurs well for short-term profitability, it is vital to safeguard the town from the dangers, ecological degradation and the forcing out of the genuine people by profit-hungry entrepreneurs. Now we shall see Darjeeling. Darjeeling, nestling among the Kanchenjunga ranges, is the major hill resort of eastern India. Like Shimla and Mussoorie in the northwest, Darjeeling too woos its origin as a hill resort to the colonial government. During British rule, it was the summer capital of the Bengal government. The town was planned and established by Lord Napier of the Royal Engineers and separated from Sikkim in 1835. Its cool and fresh climate, combined with its connection to the plains by rail and the development of tea plantation in the area, stimulate its growth as a hill resort. After Tenzing and Hillary scaled the Everest, the Himalayan Mountaineering Institute was set up in Darjeeling. This institute, while being a premier training institute, is also a place of tourist interest. Compared to the hill resorts of North India, Darjeeling is still much less crowded. One area of tourism which has tremendous potential, but it is as yet relatively untapped in this region, is that of trekking. While nearby Nepal is synonym with hiking and trekking, this activity is still to be exploited fully in Darjeeling. The area's rich flora and fauna makes trekking a most rewarding experience. The toy train is a great attraction for the tourists. The Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, also known as DHR or the toy train, is a 2 feet 610 millimeter gauge railway that runs between New Jalpaiguri and Darjeeling in the Indian state of West Bengal. Built between 1879 and 1881, it is about 88 kilometers 55 miles and climbs from about 1000 meter above sea level at New Jalpaiguri to about 2200 meters at Darjeeling, using 6 zigzags and 5 loops to gain altitude. 6 diesel locomotives handle most of the scheduled service, with daily tourist trains from Darjeeling to Ghum, India's highest railway station. On 2nd December 1999, UNESCO declared the DHR a World Heritage Site. 2 more railway lines were later added, and the site became known as one of the mountain railways of India. Non-Himalayan resorts. It must be kept in mind that hill resorts are not always located nestling in the lap of high snow-clad mountains. Apart from Himalayas, hill resorts, the other hill stations of the country are found in Aravallis of the Western Ghats and the hill ranges of central India. These resorts, such as Mount Abu, Mathiran, Otakmand, Kodaikanal, Ponmudi, and Panchmari, have the advantage of a cooler climate and lower population density compared to the major urban settlements in the vicinity, as they are located relatively at higher elevations. Among the most popular and well-known hill resorts which lies outside the Himalayas are Mount Abu in Rajasthan, Panchmari in Madhya Pradesh, and Otakmand or Ooty in Tamil Nadu. Mount Abu. Mount Abu is the only hill resort of Rajasthan. It caters mainly to Indian tourists. The cooler climate of this 1220-meter granite plateau in the Aravallis attracted the attention of the British. In 1845, it was leased for the British resident of Rajputana as a summer resort from its native ruler. The history of Mount Abu, however, goes back by about 1,000 years, not as a hill resort, but as a Jain temple town. The bulk of tourists visiting Mount Abu come from the cities of Rajasthan and Gujarat. Some visitors from Delhi can also be found frequenting this resort, which is open year-round. Mount Abu is located just 27 kilometers away from the Abu Road, which serves as the railhead, and 185 kilometers from the nearest airport, which is at Udaipur. Long-distance buses also connect the resort to the major cities of northern and western India. Its cooler climate, its picturesque craggy outcrops, the central Naki Lake, and the plethora of marvelous Hindu and Jain marble temples are the major tourist attractions. The steep granite rock formation which surrounds Mount Abu makes excellent rock pitches. These range from slopes for scrambling to climbs of great heights. This potential of the resort has been recognized by the state government, which has now established a training establishment for rock climbers. However, with adventure sports fast becoming very popular, adequate publicity and necessary infrastructure facilities such as accidental relief units, maps and supply of equipment will go a long way in attracting many more rock climbers to Mount Abu. A relative advantage which Mount Abu has, in spite of not possessing many of the climatic and geographical features of the Himalayas hill resort, its ability to attract those tourists from the neighboring states who prefer not to venture too far to enjoy the comforts of the hills. Many such hill resorts are to be found in number of non-Himalayan Indian states, which include Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu and Kerala. In terms of tourist inflow, many of these may not match the Himalayan hill resorts, but are locally significant nevertheless. Otakmand. Otakmand or Ooty is the more popularly referred to as another major non-Himalayan hill resort. Once again, we see that it was developed as a hill station by the colonial rulers. discovered by accident by some British officers. Suvillian, the collector of Coimbatore, immediately set about establishing a new station here. What drew the immediate attention of the British was the area's similarity with the landscape and the climate of their homeland. Stephen Lushington, the governor of Madras, took a great deal of interest in developing Ooty as a hill station. One British official remarked, "It will be the glory of Mr. Lushington's government," without any extravagant hyperbole, that he has introduced Europe into Asia, or such are his improvements in the Nilgiris, located at 2240 meters. Ooty offers a pleasant climate with temperature ranging from 25° to nearly 0° in winters. Apart from its coniferous flora and comfortable weather, this hill resort in its many ways of living monument of a British colonial summer resort. Imported names, architectural forms, and even some of the idiosyncrasies of the English have been carefully preserved here. The Wesleyan Church and the Collectorate, the Ottoman Club, the Fox, the Poor Jackal being substituted for the more exotic fox in the colony. Hunt and snookers all bear testimony to this. Thus, Ooty is a more than one way a good example of a typical Raj period summer retreat. Ooty is well connected by road, rail and air to the major cities of South India. Other than the above discussed few major hill resorts, most of the northern states of India as well as peninsular states can boast a number of hill resorts. These may not be as well known as the lucrative in terms of tourist turnover, but they do meet the minimum requirement of a hill resort. These include Ponmundi and Munnar in Kerala, Madikeri in Karnataka, Panchmadi in Madhya Pradesh, Kalimpong and Gangtok in the northeast, and a large number of relatively unknown mountain resorts in Garhwal, Kumaon, Kashmir. In the interest of equitable development of the tourism industry and to prevent irreversible environment degradation, it is crucial that the tourism industry makes a concentrated effort to develop new hill resorts. Most of India's hill resorts were developed as summer retreats and sanatoria for colonial bureaucrats and soldiers. These hill stations were thus not planned for accommodation, highly seasonal and heavy tourist inflow. The increase in vehicular traffic has led to atmospheric pollution. Similarly, the cutting down of forests to construct potentially lucrative hotels have resulted in considerable deforestation. Deforestation in hill areas poses a great threat to the fragile ecosystem of the hills. In many places such as Mussoorie and the Don Valley, excessive quarrying to supply the increasing demands of the building material in the expanding hill resorts have led to deforestation and consequent landslips and landslides. Unplanned municipal expansion of hill resorts located on rivers and lakes have led to possibility of these water bodies getting polluted. The case of the Dal Lake in Srinagar is a case to a point. While regulating the flow of tourist traffic to hill resort, which seems to be on the brink of environmental collapse by administrative flat, may not be received well. It would be a good idea to develop newer hill resorts. These will provide the visitor with the welcome features that he or she is in search of, like uncrowded environment, a sense of distance from the hustle and bustle of the cities, in short, a refreshing change. while allowing the visitor to be closer to nature and the hills. The developing of number of hill resorts will ease the mounting pressure on the existing high-profile hill stations. The development of the lucrative tourist industry is increasingly becoming more capital intensive. The emphasis is to attract more and more up-end market of the tourist clientele and provide them with the most up-to-date and expensive facilities. These in turn have meant that the hospitality industry has become more and more capital intensive. An increase in capital intensity consequently emasculates the potential of small local entrepreneurs entering in this field. One impact of the increasing flow of tourists into a concentrated geographical zone is to widen the economic gulf between the visitor and the local population. While tourists must be told how not to insult local customary practices, it is also important that the local population should look on the tourist as a beneficial visitor and the tourism industry as a non-antithetical to their daily welfare and interests. For such an altitude to develop in the long run, it is necessary that the local people have substantial stake in the industry and are empowered to take long-term policy decisions. The necessary infrastructure for the growth of hill stations, the service opportunities that it generates, and finally some common do's and don'ts which tourists have to be made aware of the growth of any hill resort. Tourism boosts the local economy. Like any other industry, tourism has the capability of exerting strong backward and forward linkage effects with a number of other related areas of the economy. Backward linkages pertain to the demand exerted by the tourism on output sectors, namely transport, the demand for specialized equipment, for example, in case of adventure tourism, mountaineering and trekking equipments, rafts, hang gliders, etc., services of tour agents and travel companies. Now coming on to forward linkages. Forward linkages have a more immediate and direct impact on the local economy of the tourist resort. These include the growth of local hotels, local sightseeing services, the demand for services such as for tourist guides, porters, entertainment facilities, horse riding, yachting, boating, skating, skiing, and further local handicraft industries of the region also receive a tremendous demand stimulus for their products with the growth of brisk tourist traffic. Now that we have sketched a general picture of the prerequisites for the growth of a tourist resort and some of its positive effects on the economy, let us briefly state a few precautions that have to be kept in mind in the course of the development of hill tourism. Do's and don'ts. One crucial factor which motivates the tourist to visit a hill resort is the desire to experience the clean environment of the hills, which stands in marked contrast to the pollution and crowding of the cities from where he comes from. These days, one finds that driven by the highly lucrative nature of hill tourism, this industry is developing in many areas at a very rapid rate in a totally haphazard and unplanned manner, which is not right. Resorts such as Manali, which once used to be perfectly quiet and picturesque retreats, have in the recent past transformed into highly commercialized and crowded settlements, replete with smoke and noise pollution. Now people are gradually deflecting to other hill stations. Shimla has also been spoiled on the similar lines. The burgeoning expansion of the industry in other hill resorts such as Mussoorie have led to serve deforestation and ecological harm. Rapid, unplanned tourist resort expansion might earn the smart investor a fast buck in the short term, but this leads to a serious decline of the area's tourist potential in the long run. The tourists must be made aware of the serious harm that they are capable of inflicting on the environment. They should be constantly reminded and educated about the need of the instance of not littering the countryside with waste or denuding natural flora and fauna. Plastic these days is a big buzz, and most of these hill resorts are planning to go plastic free. The tourists have realized that though on a short vacation at a hill resort, he or she should not offend the sensibility of the local population. For example, many hill folks do not like being photographed by the strangers. The camera-toting visitors, in his eagerness to take back home photographic memory of his short holiday, should not go around clicking madly and earn the displeasure of the locals. The attempt of the tourist as an outsider should be to understand the customs of the area, respect them, give them empathy, and try not to force himself on the local people. Let's summarize. This session was an attempt to familiarize you all with the following. Hope you find the session interesting and it has been able to give you a fair idea of how hill stations are a big attraction of tourism. They are the nature's heaven, comprising of interesting combinations of flora, fauna and wildlife, with an additional attraction of snow-clad peaks and various snow sports. In this session, we covered the Himalayan resorts, the non-Himalayan resorts. Tourism boosts the local economy. We looked into the various aspects how tourism helps to boost the local economy and help to develop the hill station. And we also looked at upon some do's and don'ts which have to be followed by the tourists. Hill tourism is a boon and is very popular among tourists. It is a big economy booster for the hill regions and fuels their growth and development. But all this at the cost of destruction of the pure attraction for which the customers go to the hills. If that is at danger, then this type of development is not desirable. The important thing to be ensured is the urbanization of the hilly areas, spoiling the natural beauty and takes away the hill charm. So, somewhere a balance has to be maintained between the development of the region to ensure a comfortable well-being of the locals, along with maintaining a natural charm and attraction of the place. If we have long-term plans and if we want to reap the benefits of hill stations in the long run, we have to look at the sustainable aspect. All our plans and development should be purely highly sustainable without destroying the natural ecological balance, and the tourists influxing into these areas should also be educated not to spoil the ecological balance for their own mere selfish needs. It is nature has gifted us all those things, and people flock from everywhere to the hills because of these natural attractions which can't be made by man. We can't create snow-clad peaks, right? We can't do skiing if there is no snow. So we have to ensure the sustainability. India has risen up to sustainability. In India, we are just working on no plastic. Plastic has been banned. People are being educated about the 3 hours. So it is our responsibility as tourist operators, as the ambassadors of tourism, to take this forward, to follow all the 3 hours and to ensure that all the hill stations are preserved and their ecology is not destroyed. Thank you so much.